Hi guys, it's time for the sixth commander in our What Can I Do for My Allies series, and it is Vorazun. Now Vorazun is very interesting because there are significant bonuses that she can give to her allies. Primarily these are the things that she gives to cloaked or burrowed units, and that's a Veil of Shadows, emergency recall, and strike from the shadows. So first of all, Veil of Shadows. It affects only, of course, Protoss units because they have shields, so their shield regeneration is increased by 400%, so times better, 5 times faster shield regeneration, and that, of course, affects the Protoss units that have their own. Cloak like Zeratul and his Void Templar, and units that can also be cloaked without the help of the Vorazun, like Phoenix can cloak his units with an Arbiter, and there's also Alarax Havoc that has upgrade that can make Havocs permanently cloaked. Other units have to, of course, be in the field of the Dark Pylon, in the range of the Dark Pylon, cloaked by Dark Pylons, to get this buff. But there is one interesting thing about Zeratul. Now Zeratul himself, I heard there is a bug that makes Zeratul not get these passives. I think all these passives for cloaked units. Zeratul first has to pass through the Dark Pylon range, through the cloak field of Dark Pylon to actually trigger that, to activate that ability. I mean, that is clearly a bug because as a naturally cloaked unit, Zeratul should have that thing immediately. And there is also one really good thing about the Zeratul's Void Templar regarding emergency recall. The Void Templars have their own revival upon the third fragment found that can occur every 3 minutes. So they kind of retreat to the void, and they actually stay in the place, in the kind of cocoon, but they are invulnerable while they are restoring when they die for a few seconds, and then they restore to full health. And for most of them, I think it's RNG. I think there is no pattern. I didn't figure if there is a pattern when yes and when not, but I think most of them, some of them will be immediately recalled by Vorazun, and most of them I think first use their own revival, and then if they die a second time, then they are recalled by Vorazun. So that's really good because they have double protection. And of course, emergency recall and strike from the shadows affect wider range of units than the Veil of Shadows because they also affect non-Protoss units. Some units that have natural cloak, like Nova and her ghosts. And of course, Zerg units, most of Zerg units can burrow. So, and is there any other maybe Terran units that can be Raynor's Banshees, Swans, Raids can cloak, and Raynor's Banshees, there is that bug. There is that bug. If you didn't know, I'll explain now. Banshees and Duskwings. So how does emergency recall works is that the units are recalled. Upon that, units are recalled or saved from the dead to their own owner's primary structure. But for some reason, orbital commands are not considered. That's also kind of bug foresight from Blizzard. That they are not counted as a primary structure. So if Raynor has no normal command centers, if all of them are morphed into orbital commands, then Banshees will start the process of recall, if they are cloaked, of course. but they won't finish it because they won't have anywhere to recall, so they will stay in the place in the state of permanent recall. They will be invulnerable, so you will have invulnerable banshees, and they will stay cloaked because of that, because of the strike from the shadows that increase the energy regeneration, so they will have enough energy to stay, not to drop energy, to stay cloaked, and that's why they will be permanently on the map, and you can permanently fight with them only if they are decloaked, not detected but decloaked. Mean detector means nothing, they are invulnerable, but if they are decloaked, and they can be decloaked by some spells like Brute Queen's Ensnare, that green thing that Brute Queen cast to that reveals and slows units. If they get revealed and decloaked, they will die immediately. So you should just be careful of Brute Queens, and I think Fungal also, I'm not sure, and some others. I cannot now remember all the spells that can decloak them, but yeah, Brute Queens primarily. Okay, so that's regarding Renner's Banshees. Which one has raids that can cloak, and other Terrans. I think Meng's Glow's Labyrinth cloak is kind of bugged. I mean, it is bugged. I lost quite a few ghosts because it doesn't work. Okay, Tychus's outlaws can also be cloaked temporarily upon using the Medivac. And Han Horner's raids are also can be cloaked. So yeah, those are units that have their kind of own cloak, can benefit from the emergency recall and strike from the shadows. And what's interesting about the strike from the shadows is also the infestors. Like, can't remember other units that have energy that are burrowed or cloaked. I mean, those units that use energy for cloaking, like, yeah, they of course benefit, but infestors, Statman infestors really benefit because they Statman regenerates energy very fast, so 50% additional. It's really a good thing, and infestors can be used. All their abilities can be used while they are burrowed. So if your ally is Vorazun and you're going for infestors, burrow, keep your infestors permanently burrowed, because they also emergency recall can be good. If they get threatened, if they get killed, they will be saved. But strike from the shadows, like, of course you have to have them in purple zone, because if they are not, like, Statman's units don't regenerate on their own, so 50% of 0 is still 0. But when they are in Stetson, they are burrowed, 50% faster energy regeneration is a huge thing, so don't miss that. Keep your infestors permanently burrowed. Okay, and so there are some active stuff also that Vorazun can give to allies, like the black hole. You can help ally even if your army is not there. If you see ally needs, ally struggles fighting enemies, you can also use black hole enemies for him. And time stop if you have mastery. I don't use that speed increase mastery, but if you use it, it's also affect when you use time stop, also affect allies units. And of course, there is, unless you are Withering Siphon, there is a recall, which is also a good thing because it's practically instantaneous. And you can recall allies army too, so that gives Vorazun very good mobility on the map, and each pylon has its own 60-second cooldown on the ability, so it's not global cooldown, so that's a pretty good thing. So I like to control group like especially on some maps where it is really good, like on missed opportunities or Temple of the Past, where it's really good to have that mobility, because otherwise you walk, takes a lot of time to walk to the destination. So I like to have like separate control groups for 2 or 3 dark pylons to be able to fast recall, and you can also recall sometimes your army or allies, which you think that's more suitable in the moment. Okay, and that's pretty much it. And okay, Zerg. Yeah, I may mention, like, for that emergency recall, that sometimes it's good to save valuable units like your commanders, like Kerrigan or Zagara. If you got yourself in the situation and you see that actually Kerrigan or Zagara will die, and you cannot save them, that then just if you're fast enough, you can like quickly burrow to actually when Kerrigan or Zagara get killed, will be saved. So that's also a pretty good thing. And that's it. Emergency recall doesn't affect the bunker list. So if you upload the bunker, okay, wait, it does it. I think not. Okay, not sure actually, but I think I tested it. I kind of forgot the bunker list. Uploaded bunkers can. If they're clogged, they can be recalled, but I think not. Okay, so that's it for Vorazun. And next week we'll have Karax, so stay tuned. There's also a lot of cool stuff that Karax can give to allies. Until then, check out my other videos and like and subscribe if you liked it, and see you next time.